So today we got a huge new Easter egg slash gameplay element from one of the Sonic Frontiers trailers, and nobody has found it until now. Seeing it kind of worries me because it shows they didn't just make these levels empty for the original trailer, but they were actually empty at the time of the game development itself.
Empty!
Yes, really.
Objection!
Also, I want to add on to and clarify some of my points from my video about how Sonic Frontiers will fail. And no, the information isn't as controversial as you might think. Once you hear my points, you'll understand my perspective, and I think you might even agree with what I'm saying. I've been meaning to cover this all for a while now, but I've been so busy with all the Sonic Movie 2 news that I haven't had time to get to it. But thankfully for me, it appears nobody else is yet to cover this at all. So we have a fun little treat to unpack. And by treat, I mean stress, anxiety. Why are Sega not talking publicly? A lot to get into, so I won't do a long plug like usual. But first, imagine being a kid. For many of you, that probably isn't hard to imagine. You want to eat sugary breakfast cereals. Who doesn't? But here's the thing. The cereal you grew up chomping on and enjoying, it will game end you. Seriously. And that's not a risk worth taking.
That's no good.
But you know what won't game end you? Magic Spoon cereal. The best in the world, baby. My favorite flavor is peanut butter, the absolute GOAT flavor, or raccoon flavor. Magic Spoon cereals have 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Only 140 calories per serving. They're also keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and low carb. Click the link below to get some Magic Spoon cereal today. You can build your very own variety box and use my code SONIC for $5 off.
Yay!
There's cocoa, blueberry, fruity, lots of good choices. And Magic Spoon has alpha confidence and has a 100% happiness guarantee, and if you don't like it, they'll give you a refund, no questions asked.
Yay!
Personally, I hate being asked questions. So click the link below and use Sonic for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/Sonic. Also, for the Canadian and British fans, Magic Spoon now ships to you. Yay! Also, double check you're subbed and belled to The Sonic Show, the #1 source of Sonic news.
That's true.
Also, if you liked the video, you know what you gotta do. Drop a like! It really helps out, and also hitting the bell is really helpful, as sometimes there's huge news that drops, and you won't even hear about it and will miss out on it. So sad. Plus, I only upload every few days, so why not? Okay, with all that, let's get into this new Frontiers game element / Easter egg.
I'm empty. I feel so good.
Dog doom.
Empty.
So when we got the first Sonic Frontiers trailer a couple months back, it showed a CGI scene by Marza and a short fly-through of the open world. And obviously, everyone dissected it down to the smallest of details. However, this was only done for the trailer we got at the Game Awards. But the Japanese website had put out an extended tour of the open world map, and it turns out they are not identical to the same map at all. So in these two trailers, if you play them side by side, you'll notice they have the exact same camera movements. But what we didn't dissect is that these are actually updated versions of the levels. They added more gameplay elements into these, meaning these are almost certainly the levels we're getting. And now that we have something to compare it to, we can finally tell how far this game really is in development. You can see right here in this shot, there's something that appears to be a brand new game element added in the area by the water. It looks like some sort of magical anvil or something like that. I'm not certain if this was an added cosmetic to the map, in which case it seems kind of random. Or this is an interactable game element, which I think is more likely. And the fact that this was added between the very short release of the two trailers makes me question how far along this game is. We'll get more into this topic specifically later in the video, but this is definitely the first rumblings of me going, I wonder how far along is this game? And honestly, I wouldn't be asking that, but it's a real shame the developers are being held against their will and monitored in a remote office building. Also, combined with the assumed placeholder model, an honestly pretty solid model, accompanied by absolutely awful animations. And awful doesn't even do it justice, because there's not even animations to be awful. A lack of any character or personality. If this is a game element, let's look at the possibilities of what this could be, because I have some ideas. So, with an open world game, you need collectibles everywhere to incentivize the player to explore. Now, this might be something that when you find, you go up to and interact to unlock some sort of point upgrade or fast travel point. Maybe it's even a challenge point. It has the look of an hourglass shaped emerald, and it looks like you can flip it over somehow with its gyroscope sides attaching it. I assume this is probably how you would interact with it. You probably go up, hit a button like X, and it flips over. Now again, not certain, that's just my theory, and me coming to my own logical conclusions. I would know if, someone asked them in an interview. That'd be cool. This was brought initially to my attention on Twitter from this person whose name I can't pronounce. But thank you, loyal subscriber to The Sonic Show, the #1 source of Sonic the Hedgehog news. So now, let's get into what's worrying me. Yes, again, I think Sonic Frontiers will fail if we continue down what our current trajectory is. This doesn't mean we won't course correct though, and I'll explain it all. We haven't seen a single thing gameplay-wise of this game, so we haven't really been able to judge development pace before now. Especially because we've been assuming these levels were made empty just for the trailer. But the fact that what appears to be a major gameplay element was just added at the time of the first gameplay fly-through is definitely concerning. I'm not trying to be super negative, and some people said,
Aren't you supposed to be the positive guy?
but that's not true and never has been. I've always been the realist, and yeah, I'm generally positive because generally news drops give us tons of goodies. But I am concerned about the development and lack of gameplay about this game with a 2022 release. And I think I have reason to and feel justified. If we see a gameplay trailer and it's not just quick cuts, but we get to actually see the gameplay, then we can give a much fairer judgment. Also, I do want to clarify, I don't think Sonic Frontiers will fail financially, because you really gotta mess up for a Sonic game to at least not be a financial success to some degree. Sonic Force failed critically, and that's really what matters. Not saying it's all that matters, but just because a game sells a lot doesn't signal its quality. Licensed games and games with iconic characters have much higher chances of financial success, even with a mediocre game. Do you know how many copies Garfield Kart has sold? Exactly 2. Too many. If they keep hiding gameplay and only giving us generic PR statements from Iizuka, who it appears even from his own interviews isn't that involved, Sonic Frontiers will fail. This isn't me hoping for their downfall at all, but rather a passionate Sonic fan worried about this very ambitious and exciting title. And legitimately, I want the best for this game in terms of quality and fan reception. Gameplay is king in my mind, so the fact that they are gating it is disappointing. However, I don't want to be too down on it because I do think we will get a gameplay reveal very soon. And I'll get into when, but what's really important is that they show us a level run through and playing of the game. Sonic Forces was bold enough to show a 40-second level run through about a year before their release. And we are closer than that, but recently with Sonic Colors Ultimate, they just showed quick jump cuts, and then eventually showed a level run through once it got closer to release. That game was not awful or even necessarily bad, but just meh. However, Sonic Frontiers cannot be meh. And while I am aware of the fact that Blind Squirrel were in charge of the remasters, I'm pretty certain they didn't work on Sonic Forces. And this is the same studio and director as Sonic Forces. So they really have to prove themselves here. And all love and respect to the brand and all, but they are honestly fumbling right now and not proving anything. And I know, Jaden, be patient. And I'll get into that, but I feel like patience was fair to say in 2021, and now I kind of feel like anything's off the tables. Now, let's get to that gameplay reveal soon that I was talking about. I think it's obvious to everyone that E3 is the main place to do gaming reveals, and it's located on me and Sonic's birth month of June. I'm not necessarily saying they'll show something specifically there, but around E3 time, a lot of these other smaller companies hold their own separate events from the giants just for their own products. And Sega did do their very first Sonic Central last year, and have stated since then that they want to do more in the future. So this would be the most likely timing if they don't show up at E3 somehow. Either or on E3 in their own event. But the main takeaway is that I am feeling confident we will see gameplay by then. We definitely will have something on or by Sonic's anniversary, 100%. But that's still all the way in June. I feel like we've got to see some gameplay reveal before then. I imagine around or before the release of Sonic Movie 2, we'll get at least something. I'll even take the quick cut trailer just to give a little tease if you guys announce when you'll drop a trailer instead of just dropping spontaneously like you're a hypebeast clothing brand. If there really is no gameplay until E3 in June, I'm definitely expecting a delay to 2023. They did their Sonic Central event in May with little notice, so this very well is likely to be the case again. It's likely we'll get something before then though, because Sega has acknowledged in their financials, or maybe it was somewhere else, but they did say they are aware there's a lot of excitement building around Frontiers, and they've been saying that they learned a lot of lessons from Forces. So now we're in the place where we've got to see the lessons. Also, whenever asked about the release date, they keep saying they'll try to hit holiday 2022 and they're working their hardest, so it's definitely not locked in. I don't know if it will get pushed to 2023, and honestly, until we see gameplay, that might be the best thing. Some people will definitely get mad, but trust me guys, a delayed game is better than a rushed game. Plus, if they do delay to 2023, they could just put out Origins this year, which they needed Shadow Drop suit, okay? They've already said the development of it is going okay. So for all the people rumoring about being awful, I don't think so. I still think they're planning to Shadow Drop. My question is, and I know they're not going to tell us, but when? When will they release this game? It's 4 Sonic games. I think technically 5. Just put them out. I know there's probably licensing issues and all these other things, but I don't care about that. Just put them out. Let me play the games. So with that, I know people have been wanting me to do more Frontiers videos, but I'm gonna cover like what? A very ugly, obviously fake screenshot of Cosmo from Sonic X being in Frontiers, I guess? Yeah, no thanks. I do have one planned video about other playable characters in Frontiers from info I got. And no, not Cosmo or Chris Thorndike. But other than that video, I only have other non-game Sonic news topics planned for now. And a couple of these are pieces like this that nobody else has noticed, and I've just kind of been sitting and keeping to myself. I do think it's important to say, but guys, if there's no news on Frontiers to talk about, I'm not going to make a video on it, especially if there's other, more relevant news about the Sonic franchise, like there has been with all the new movie stuff lately. These things come in waves, and in a few months, Sonic Movie 2 will hardly be a topic of discussion once everything is settled. So I'm just going to do me and make whatever videos I find most interesting in the moment. I'll talk more about Frontiers when either leakers decide to grace us, or Sega graces us. At this rate, I don't know who will be first. Trusting Sega to drop Sonic news is like trusting Kanye to drop an album when he says so. I don't know about that one, Chief. The day I'm recording this is noon of the 22nd, so I still don't know if he dropped the album.
That's how long I've been on ya.
Presumably it would drop after his show, but prediction, I don't think it's dropping. But if you're going to walk away with anything from this video, I want you to walk away knowing you just watched a video from the #1 source of all Sonic news, The Sonic Show. Drop a like if you like, and sub with bell because I told you to, and you respect me enough to listen. We are quite far from beating the next main boss, Cyber Shell. Like, extremely far. So I'm going to need literally every person who watched this video to subscribe now. And bell, so you're not out of the loop with late epic Sonic news. Thanks for finishing another video. If you're watching this, it means I finished this video too. Lots of love. Very needed right now. And peace. Peace.